Hello and welcome to the Festive Savvy Corner. My name is Alisa and I make money-related videos covering personal and business finances, financial well-being and money mindset. If this is the type of content you like to watch and you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing. I'd love to have you join the Savvy Corner community. This video is coming out on the very last day of 2019. So let's take a moment to think about this year and the things we have achieved. Was it a good year for you? Or maybe it was a hard one? What did you learn in 2019? Take a moment to reflect on that. What about your goals? What were your goals for this year? And is there anything you'd like to carry forward? What would you have liked to do that you didn't manage to? There's a new year coming, and whatever you missed in 2019, it's likely that you'll get a second chance in 2020. As you probably guessed from the title, today we are going to talk about setting goals for 2020. Of course, if you're watching this video in a different year or at a different time of the year, the concept and the process will still be valid. So go ahead and apply them regardless of when you're watching this. But going back to the topic, I want to share with you some tips on setting goals, and I want us to have a conversation about goals in general and how to approach your goal setting process so that it doesn't overwhelm you. Let's jump straight in. First of all, notice that I'm not talking about financial goals in this video, but goals in general. Personal goals, if you want to call them that. And these goals can be in any area of your life. Health, relationships, career, business, whatever you want. The reason for this is that I want you to look at money not as an end in itself, but as an enabler of something else. We'll talk about that in a moment. Until we do, however, let me ask you this. How many goals do you usually set for 1 year? 10? 20? 5? 1? There's no right or wrong answer to this question, but what I found working with clients is that having too many goals can be overwhelming, even if they are smaller goals. So I'd like to suggest that you set 3 main goals for the year. Just 3, that's it. Make them stretch goals, meaning that it will take some effort to achieve them, but they are achievable if you really put your mind to it. Remember to set them as SMART goals. So specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. You need to be very clear on what your goals are and how you will be able to determine that you've reached them. You don't have to set goals for exactly 1 year. Some will take less and some will span over several years. And that's okay as long as you have a clear deadline of when you'd like to achieve them. So set 3 main goals that are important for you and you want to work on this coming year. Take your time to do this. There's no rush. Really think about what matters to you the most at the moment and set your goals according to that. Please don't borrow goals and life KPIs from other people. Just because your family members or your friends or colleagues are buying houses, getting married, changing jobs, moving to a different city, traveling, or whatever they do, that doesn't mean you have to make them your goals and wish to do those things. What do you want? I talked more about this in a previous video on how to define financial success, which I will link for you on the screen and in the description box below. But keep this question in mind when you set your goals. What do you want? What is important to you regardless of social pressures and other conventions? Make these goals your own. Okay, now that you've set your 3 goals, start thinking about how your finances can support them. How much of a financial commitment are we talking about so that you can reach these goals? Let me give you an example. Let's say that one of your goals is in relation to traveling. Now, if your goal is, I'd like to travel more in 2020, that's not a SMART goal. So go back to the drawing board and make that goal look something more like this. I want to visit New York for 2 weeks in April, spend 1 week in Singapore in July, visit Budapest for a 3-day city break in September, and spend 2 days visiting the Christmas market in Prague in December. If this is your goal, then you can start to quantify the financial commitments needed to visit all these places. How much do the flights cost for those destinations during those months? What about accommodation? Are you planning to go alone or with someone? If so, accommodation might be cheaper because you'll be sharing. What are the prices in these countries? How much are you likely to spend whilst you're there? Do you need travel insurance? Do you have any pets at home that need taken care of while you're away? And do you need to pay someone to do that? Do you have a business, and if you're going away for extended periods of time, does that mean that you'll make less money in your business? If so, factor that in as well. You get the idea by now. Eventually, you will reach a number that represents the financial commitment needed to reach this goal. Do this for all of the goals you have. Take your time with it and do some research to make sure that the numbers you come up with are as accurate as they can be, given the information you have available to you right now. And now it's time to set some financial tasks or tactics for each of your main goals. These are actions you will take to help you achieve your objectives, and they can be saving a certain amount of money every month, or buying certain things that you need, cancelling some services you don't use, and so on. You might find that you need to bring in more money in order to have enough to reach these goals, and that's fine. Your tasks or tactics could be to renegotiate your salary, find another job, get a promotion, start a side gig. These tactics or tasks are not goals in themselves, but they support your main goals. Your focus is always the main objective, and you can be flexible about the way in which you want to achieve it. This ensures you don't get overwhelmed by having to do so many things. There is a danger, though, that because you only have 3 main goals and 12 months to achieve them, you don't feel a sense of urgency. 1 year for 3 goals, that's plenty of time. I'll start in February. Then April comes and you're thinking, that's okay, we have 3 quarters of the year left. Even in July, you might feel there's still half a year ahead of you, and therefore you've got plenty of time. You can see where I'm going with this. In order to create a sense of urgency for achieving your goals, I'd like to suggest that you break them down into quarterly milestones and always work on 3 months at a time. There's a great system described in this book, which is the 12-Week Year by Brian Moran and Michael Lennington. If you haven't read the book, I highly recommend it, and I'll link it for you below. You can also watch one of my previous videos on achieving financial goals, where I also share a system of how to break down goals and approach them in a systematic manner. I'll link the video on the screen and in the description box below. This video is not about achieving goals, but setting them, which is why I make the references to these other resources. Your money is here to support other areas of your life and to help you reach your goals in these areas. I hope this video has given you some inspiration on goal setting and some tips on how to approach the process. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. The 2 videos you see on the screen might also offer some insight into how to manage your money and your mind around it. Go check them out if you've got the time. They have been carefully selected for you. That's it from me for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!